I now call upon Vignesh Sundaresan, the founder director of Onemai Foundation, to take us through the journey from being a blockchain architect to commissioning Anbenum Peruveli as an art project. Vignesh Sundaresan, I welcome you onto the stage.
Jodi, a Tamil film that was released in 1939, was about the life story of Ramalinga Adigal, 1939. The film has now been declared a lost film. The film crew consisted of the likes of Pammal Samanda Mudaliyar as the screenplay writer, and N.S. Krishnan too had played a role in the movie. But it's a lost film now, not available in any form. How did we lose this film? Only the memory, if any, about the film would now persist. We did not have the social or technology tools that could preserve and persist a movie not from too long ago. Today, the internet is not any different. In 2003, there was a Washington Post article that suggested that the average age of a web page is 100 days. That article, when I recently tried to find it for reference for this speech, I found that it had gone missing too. But luckily, IEEE article, academic article from 2001, which is harder to lose, suggests it's 75 days. So we can safely say 75 to 100 days is the average lifespan of a web page on the internet. It might come as a surprise to some people, but the internet is not permanent. It is very much ephemeral. On the other hand, because the access to the internet has been under private control for some time now, people seem to be absorbed into a social media popularity myth, a digital panopticon. Internet access has maybe been reduced to just a promotional platform. We tend to give so much attention to quantified measurements proposed by the private social media companies that we forget that alternative networks have always existed beyond social media. What the internet technology is meant for is far wider. Can we create new points of entry for public to access the internet? Can we use the internet as an archiving medium? Can we use the internet to persist digital objects? Where do I start? April last year, I realized that I had completed my 10th year in the blockchain space, starting from the very early days where the only interface to the blockchain was a command line tool to having been part of building the infrastructure for the blockchain world. I've had the opportunity to learn, grow, contribute, and evolve with the industry. In the early days of the blockchain, when there was only skepticism of the industry, the thing that attracted me to the blockchain was not its financial potential. In fact, the industry was so early and so tiny that to have to work on the blockchain industry for its financial upside would have been a case of counting chickens before they hatch. My attraction to the industry was its alternative possibilities. There is great potential that is submerged in the blockchain design space, in which we have only touched upon a little. Most of what has been built so far is people's attempt at global economic system design and cross-border human coordination. But as an early enthusiast in blockchain, I was attracted to the cyberpunk movement and the courage that the cyberpunks had in terms of the position they were taking against the establishment, and more importantly, their method. Privacy is not secrecy. They campaigned on the internet. Cyberpunks write code. They campaigned on the internet. The cyberpunk movement is the primary reason why encryption is now in public domain, without which we would not have open source cryptocurrencies, open source cryptography, open source privacy on the internet, and the internet would be a very uninteresting space. I like the idea that you can code as protest. Code is speech, and everyone has the right to speech is a popular statement that used to get memed a lot. I deeply immersed myself in the industry and coded on blockchains almost every day between 2013 and 17. By 2016, the industry was changing and becoming more known and used. I could see it in the increasing number of transactions my code would have to handle on the blockchain. Blockchains always warmly welcomed newcomers, supposedly cyberpunks, to join the movement. But as the industry changed, I personally felt the potential of blockchain is way beyond financial use cases, and it had to welcome people from diversified backgrounds. Parallelly, digital technology has grown a lot in the last 2 decades, that today a huge majority of information we create is digital. Growing up, I always had a curious attraction towards art and artists. And art is where I would hear the word alternative all the time. Independent music, independent film, etc. So I stepped into what I thought was the art world. By 2017, I started involving myself in a number of art-related initiatives and quickly realized art is not one world, but like every other industry, there are many art worlds. The word independent for me meant funded independently from the current established commercial setup. In the case of establishment, in this case, the establishment is the existing market hegemony. Establishment, due to its heaviness, tends to lose agility and fixes itself into a comfortable routine. But the excitement is always in the fringes, and that is what I understood as independent. I set on contemplating and experimenting alternative ways to support art creation, but soon I realized that technology has always been my world, and that understanding is what gave me the strength to identify the potential of blockchain technology early on. I wanted to stick to my strength in terms of my work. I recall at a point around 2020, I was seriously working towards porting everything around me that is digital into the virtual world, Mei Nigar Ulaga. I had started several projects in parallel, but as an individual, when my working style changed to directly working with artists, everything changed. I started feeling more confident that my original intention of pushing blockchain technology into new forms should be possible. I started focusing exclusively on art commissions. The experience I received from my art commissions, along with the travel and conversations during this period, has been instrumental in setting a background for this. The search for points of intersection between the virtual world, the Mei Nigar Ulaga, and the real world, Mei Ulaga, was the reason why Onemai Foundation was conceived. To expand on that thought, Onemai Foundation will work towards contemplating on what registers from the physical world are to be ported to the virtual world. Among these digital registers, a few, I hope, will blossom into NFTs, and I will absorb them into my personal collection. NFTs. I understand that NFTs can make people curious. Like any new tool, NFTs can be deployed for many different functions, and I use it for a particular purpose. It is to register a strong public point of entry to understand my responsibilities as a data custodian, and it acts as provenance, thus acting as persistent points of entry for the public as well. Let me take a step back. There is this particular artwork displayed at A.S. Pannirselvan's home, created at his request by artist Narendran. It is a collage of the headlines made from newspaper clippings published on various newspapers from around the world on the day Gandhi had been shot dead. We are familiar with the fragility of newspaper, but I was particularly drawn towards how art has the potential to extend the life of fragile objects. And in a deeper subjective sense, in any given situation, art carries within itself the immeasurable potential of being able to seize the most opportunities to port truth over time. A NFT, on the other hand, is just a certificate, a marker, a registration of that moment of creation by the artist themselves. Physically speaking, a degree certificate or a land title is no different from an NFT. We cannot live on the land title. It is just a paper. On the same lines, NFT is just a marker, albeit a strong marker, like engravings on a stone. Similar to how stone's extended durability allows for engraving to persist over time, blockchains, by design, are equipped with the faculties for durability, and on the fragile internet that allows NFTs to persist over time. Artistically speaking, if our desire is to nurture a tree, the seed is the NFT. I would like to share a note about Anbenum Peruveli that describes the project. Anbenum Peruveli, named in Tamil by A.S. Pannirselvan, translates to the grand expanse called love. This musical project is a commission project conceived by Onemai Foundation. The various artistic interpretations and response to reimagining the poetry of the 19th century Tamil saint Ramalinga Adigal, popularly known as Vallalar, has been an act of contemplation by all those involved. At its core, Anbenum Peruveli is the musical exploration by singer Sanjay Subramanian in presenting Vallalar in his voice as an original and a new musical collaboration with the composer Sean Roldan. Sanjay Subramanian's rigorous attempt has been in shifting his orientation towards adapting newer modes of musical production. In this process, his work with Sean Roldan has been to deep dive into envisaging a digital experience. This challenge has pushed his artistic endurability, equipped with faculties of perseverance. In the case of Anbenum Peruveli, there has been so many digital objects like raw footages, photos, emails, Zoom calls, documentary, and more. But only the raw wave files of the final mixed version of the 6 songs which make up the music album have been minted as 6 individual audio NFTs by Sanjay Subramanian. These NFTs now become part of my collection. Working with these songs as a seed, Rafiq Ismail, the filmmaker of Anbenum Peruveli documentary film, has captured the coming together of the music album. Rafiq has also brought alive the essence of Vallalar by collating the interviews of writers, researchers, and scholars working within the Tamil socio-political terrain. The film unfolds as a profound layer to Anbenum Peruveli's endeavor. To answer the original question, can we imagine new ways to access the internet today? I propose a curated NFT collection as one way to start to access the internet. Every point of entry will have an independent point of entry on the internet, a website. Simplified, a domain name. The foundation takes the responsibility to host anbenumperuveli.net for eternity. But are these songs only available on the website? No. The songs get distributed on all possible open platforms like Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, etc. We use the platform as a service provider rather than for provenance. The independent website specially designed for the album becomes the home, a more persistent pointer to fall back to. An NFT takes care of preserving the provenance and data through time. You can look up Anbenum Peruveli on your favorite platform and listen or watch the album, but visiting anbenumperuveli.net will get you a comprehensive view of the whole album, including the music, lyrics, videos, an essay by A.S. Pannirselvan, a reference library of open access books related to Vallalar, and more as we update the website in the coming months. So, how do we build a website? I think about websites as being a site for an exhibition. Similar to how physical exhibition is conceived, planned, and executed, what gets exhibited on a website is a curated subset of digital objects that's been collected during the process of the art commission. Commission, you ask. Yes, Anbenum Peruveli is not a production, and I don't intend to be a producer in the traditional sense. These initiatives are not built to be distributed via the traditional market channels with the goal of maximizing the return on investment. As I work towards building a collection, Onemai Foundation conceives these commissions, and these commissions are intended as non-commercial contributions to the public domain commons. So what is to commission an artwork? To commission an artwork means to create a forum, a conducive environment allowing explorations, engaging conversations, and allowing the process to unfold and to be influenced by the various actants. As a commission progresses, we attempt to record the process in the appropriate way. As a result, several digital objects are produced. It could be calls, emails, photos, music, website, articles, artworks, references, other found digital objects, etc. As the process comes to a closure, we intend to activate the artwork born out of these commissions by placing it in the public domain as a reference by its domain name, anbenumperuveli.net in this case, and with the intention of the foundation to retain a copy of all documentation preserved and provenanced using the blockchain. Not all documentation and data gets put into the exhibition website for the public, but over the coming years, we intend to revisit the project and other digital objects that have now gained social significance and can make their way to making new exhibitions, some other NFTs, or some new websites, or a remake of an old website. It has been an intense and gratifying experience working on Anbenum Peruveli. Thank you.